Bureaucrat-Comprador Capitalism is the economic model of the imperialized world. Ultimately, the economies of these countries are determined by external forces, finance capitalists from the imperialist metropoles, but these finance capitalists rely on the local bourgeoisie to manage their various enterprises and to extract profits and resources in order for them to be funneled back into the imperialist core. These are the comprador capitalists. The imperialized countries were unable to develop their own native capitalism to the degree that saw the transformation of industrial and banking capital into monopoly finance capital. And because of this, they are developmentally stunted and dominated by the forces of international finance capital while being stuck in an underdeveloped and often semi-feudal economic base. The compradors, the middlemen of the international finance capitalists, join forces with the semi-feudal ruling class to form state monopoly capital. Many of these compradors become elected to positions of government and enter into quid pro quo deals where they use their political power to create an economic environment favorable to the semi-feudal landlord class and to the interests of the international finance capitalists. These are the bureaucrat capitalists. The international finance capitalists and their bureaucrat-comprador lapdogs enter a class alliance with local semi-feudal landlords and assist them in transitioning out of the semi-feudal mode of production and into the petty bourgeoisie mode of production. In this manner, the international finance capitalists, the bureaucrat-compradors, and the semi-feudal landlords create the bureaucrat-capitalist state seen in the imperialized world. In the modern world, colonial relations have given way to neo-colonial relations, where previously colonized countries are given nominal independence while preserving the fundamentally exploitative colonial dynamic. This is where we derive the term semi-colonies as a country under this type of rule. To further explain the difference, a country can either be a colony with a base and superstructure directly dominated by another country, or a semi-colony, where this foreign domination is veiled behind a nominal independence while being indirectly controlled by another country. The dominant trend in the neoliberal project is the global shift in imperialism, away from colonialism and towards semi-colonialism, with the overall trend being called neo-colonialism. This dynamic of indirect control is maintained by the bureaucrat-comprador structure, which, as we previously discussed, is a class alliance between international finance capitalists, bureaucrat-compradors within the government, and semi-feudal landlords. On the surface, bureaucrat-comprador capitalist states may seem to be fully independent, but their economic base and large portions of their superstructure are, in reality, dominated by foreign entities. They are independent in name only, and should they attempt to remove the bureaucrat-comprador capitalists from power by voting in progressive and left populist candidates, they will be met with the full brunt of imperialism's jackboot in order to suppress them. The same is true of the rural peasant class, often consisting of indigenous people who face constant discrimination. If they try to initiate land reforms that removes power from the landlords and grants the peasant some level of dignity, these land reforms are suppressed, often through extreme acts of violence. This is seen in the case of imperialist-backed death squads, coups leading to the establishment of fascistic military dictatorships, the assassination of left-wing political leaders, and severe and crippling economic sanctions, all of which are reinforced by media campaigns to initiate panic over the communist menace, painting all progressive forces within bureaucrat-comprador society as communists is a strategy called red tagging, which is employed in a variety of countries targeted by imperialism. Across the world, particularly within the imperial core, red-tagged movements are often painted as violent and terroristic, while the everyday violence and terrorism of the bureaucrat-comprador state and the neoliberal system as a whole are painted as peaceful, democratic, and lawful. The violence of neoliberalism is excused and concealed, and any attempts to seize power away from the imperialist and their bureaucrat-comprador lapdogs or the landlord class are condemned by the bourgeois media. The neoliberal system is anything but peaceful and democratic. as it is forced upon the working classes of the imperialized world, and the leaders of targeted countries sell out to the imperialists. Those who resist find themselves invaded, assassinated, or deposed from power and replaced by someone willing to lick the boots of international finance capital. The compradors are traitors to their country and assist the imperialists in their pillage and domination, and the landlords, like always, are leeches who prey on the peasant workers. Maoism has found a way to liberate the working masses of imperialized countries through the concept of a national democratic front, and to propel society forward past Bureaucrat-Comprador Capitalism by means of a new democracy. The National Democratic Front is the method by which Maoist parties maintain the mass line, by creating revolutionary mass organizations under the umbrella of the party to engage in a legal struggle against the oppressive government while functioning in an autonomous manner. This enables the revolutionary masses of the working class to participate in revolution while not directly risking their lives, their homes, and their families across a myriad of facets, all of which work to advance the revolution. Understanding the primary contradiction of the imperialized world to be a parasitic bureaucrat-comprador state, the first step in the socialist revolution is the national democratic revolution of a new type. Under this project, capital is consolidated under the dictatorship of the proletariat and the peasantry, and is used as a means to build the framework of socialism. A revolution led by and for the working classes. This is done in order to develop the productive forces while actively advancing the socialist project. Recall that periods of strategic adoption of limited state capitalist measures are but a means to an end in order to further the socialist project along the overall socialist trajectory. This is the period of new democracy, which oversees the decolonization of the imperialist world, the overthrow of parasitic bureaucrat-comprador capitalism, the consolidation of remaining native capitalist elements under the dictatorship of the proletariat and the peasantry, and the beginning of the national-scale socialist project. New democracy abolishes foreign domination in the form of imperialism and neo-colonialism. It abolishes semi-feudal relations. It builds the productive forces and the foundations of a socialist economic base while advancing a series of cultural revolutions to create a socialist superstructure. New democracy, established through the National Democratic Front, is the model produced by Maoism for the overthrow of imperialism and the establishment of socialism within the underdeveloped imperialized world. This is the goal of the revolution seen in the Philippines and in India, and many other revolutionary Maoist fronts around the world. So that about does it for today's episode. Just to review, we discussed the nature of bureaucrat-comprador capitalism, its components. We discussed the concepts of neo-colonialism, semi-colonialism, and semi-feudalism and the differences between them. And we discussed the Maoist concept of the National Democratic Front and New Democracy. In the next episode, we will discuss the dynamic of settler colonialism and its implications for the Maoist movement. Be sure to join us next time. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Dinky King out.